Hey everybody, on this episode of Teachers Off Duty, the math ain't mathin'. In fact, there's 4 of us on today's show. You only see 3. Already things are chaos. Tune in to find out what we're talking about when the teacher math doesn't add up. Teachers Off Duty starts now.
Hey best friends, welcome to this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty. If you don't know me, I'm Honest Teacher Vibes, aka Bri. What your name is?
Oh, I'm Jess Smith. You may know me as Teacher Tales of Miss Smith.
And I'm Devin Siebold. You may know me as Honest Teacher Tales. Just combining all of them. I just have to one up both of you. Go ahead.
I want a page now that says Honest Teacher Tales.
It's just like an AI morph of us.
Hey, Chat GPT. No, so I'm super excited about what we're talking about this week, the teacher math, because the math don't be mathin'. I don't do public math, but I do know that the math that be mathin' and teacher math don't be mathin'.
No.
Now, are we talking about the math like that you
not
teach?
Common Core. I don't teach no math. I don't teach math.
It's definitely not mathing.
I've heard things and things were said.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't do public math. It's not a thing. But I can do teacher math because it makes me upset that the math don't be mathing. But you know where you won't have to do math?
Ooh.
At the Board Teachers Comedy Tour.
Tell them about it.
Devin Siebold, what them dates is, big dog?
I don't have the dates you have.
I texted them to you. So anyway.
Oh, you did text them to me?
It's cool. It's cool.
Okay, go ahead.
Not Jimmy.
I would love to.
You will not have to do public math at the Board Teachers Comedy Tour, where you will see all of us because we are funny. Devin's funnier than all of us, but you know,
combined.
That's what he. Oh wow!
Just kidding.
I'm very
You were
humble.
waiting to say that.
I'm humble.
Now I'm the
Go
humblest
on.
person you ever met, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
So our summer shows at the end of July, we will be in Billings, Montana, Missoula, Montana, and Bozeman, Montana. Is it Bozeman or Bozeman?
Oh, see, now I got you thinking about it.
Is it Bozeman?
Bozeman.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
you said it
Bozeman,
right.
Bozeman, Montana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Then we'll be in South Texas, Beaumont, Corpus Christi, and McAllen. And then we will be in Missouri, Springfield, and Columbia, Missouri. Missouri. And then we'll be in Mulvane, Kansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then we'll be in Wisconsin. And we have a few shows that are already almost sold out in Wisconsin. So we'll be in Green Bay, Wausau. And and Madison, Wisconsin, and then we will be in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Nice.
So we can't wait to see you this summer at the Board Teachers Comedy Tour. We do have a good time.
Yeah.
It is a grand time. I like to get on stage and act the fool. Say what I want to say without getting sent to HR. It's nice.
If only we could say what we say in the green room on the stage. Then it would, I think if we just did a live feed to the green room. Then...
Green room conversations leaked. Canceled.
Yeah.
Bye.
Fired. So
Has been teacher vibes.
Honest Teacher Vibes, move your honest teacher ass. Remember when? Who said that?
Vinny.
Okay, so some people may not know what teacher math is, and Jess did a video on Board Teachers for that was titled Teacher Math. So
Roll the footage.
I'm gonna roll camera. So I feel like the video that you did, I feel like you could give a really good explanation of what. I think we all know what teacher math is, but give us a little explanation for the people that.
So there was this trend where it was called girl math, right? Where you could justify buying a $400 purse by the amount of days that you would wear the purse. So it's really like you're paying just $2 a day to have this purse.
That's good math
and
to me.
That's a great math.
That's good math.
So the idea, we brought it over into teachers.
Devin's like,
No.
Devin's just like, don't you dare do girl math, or you will be homeless.
So teacher math is kind of the same idea, but
I'm more interested in landlord math after that. I mean, it's like, I spent a $400 purse. It's like $2 a day. Okay, but where's your rent?
I spent it on a concert ticket.
yeah, which only cost me
I know.
for the experience.
If we're making memories, I mean, you can't put a price tag on memories.
You cannot put a memory on that.
I like the girl. Now I'm going to have to go to TikTok and look up all these girl math videos so I can justify all my purchases.
Absolutely. It makes so much sense.
I'm going to go look.
But the teacher math doesn't always make a lot of sense.
At all.
One thing that does not make sense, like, for example, okay, A roll of paper towels at school
God.
is not the same as the roll of paper towels at home.
No.
One roll of paper towels at school is equal to one sheet of paper towels at home.
I'm traumatized by the brown paper towels.
Brown paper
Because
towels.
why? Like, stop. Throw them away. Get new ones. Like,
Is it really
they
that
suck.
hard to get good paper towels
I
for your
don't
school?
know. Well, we do teach public school, so
I know.
Well, yeah, when I first quit teaching, I gained a little bit of weight, and people are like, "Oh, because you're not on your feet anymore." No, it's because I spent half my day going just trying to get
not getting that workout no more. I lost weight in my biceps.
and then just like this.
For real though.
The elation I feel when you like do the swipe down and it actually comes out like a
and
good
not
like
messed
4
up.
inches.
Yeah.
Or when you like push it down and it comes out like an inch and you're like, what?
The worst,
I'm gonna
the
be here
worst is the
forever.
one where they have like you got to pull it, so you go whoomp, and then it goes shwit and sucks it back in, and you're like, no.
Who
And then
made you?
Then you go over to the side like.
I
Like
can't.
turning a little dial, like trying to get a little bit of paper out. I
feel like supplies the math on supplies, they never last the way they would last at home
No.
because kids get up to get a Kleenex because they just wanted to get up. Like a whole box of Kleenex might last me, a little bit more time. In school, as soon as I put that box of Kleenex out, it's only one sheet in there when I look up 30 seconds later. How did this happen?
How did
Who
it,
needs this
where
many
did it
Kleenexes?
go?
Because you wiped your boogers on the desk. So what was the Kleenex for?
True.
The Kleenex was
That's student math.
That was right. The Kleenex was for you to wipe the hand sanitizer off your shoes that you use to clean your shoes. So you wasting my supply. This is why the math ain't mathing. Because this is student math and teacher math.
When they
Student
come
math and teacher
together,
math.
it's disastrous.
Cluster fudge.
Yeah. So like I feel like time in a classroom is very it's up for debate. What is time in a classroom?
It's
because
subjective.
whenever I said, okay guys, I'm going to give you 2 more minutes on this assignment, it was always like not way above 2 minutes.
Oh,
it was
no.
it
I'm
was
giving you
always
10
like,
minutes because I got something to do.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And I know y'all ain't going to notice that it's been longer than 2 minutes.
And no one's going to complain about it. No one's complaining for the
We
first
don't
time
wanna do
ever.
work.
Yeah, no one's complaining about it.
I feel like when, like, my planning period, I feel like it goes by in like 30 seconds. But the same class period time, depending on which class it is, I've been in here for 3 hours. Please free me. I want to go home. I want to go.
It's like when you plan that lesson and you're like, done. And then you look at the thing, it's 15 minutes in, you're like, still not done. Still gotta keep going. Gotta figure out.
The
gotta
worst.
gotta repeat it 2 or 3 times right now.
Or the assignment that you think is going to take the kids a long time, like you worked hard to plan it, and they finish it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm bored. And I'm like, the way that I calculated this in my mind, because I spent time calculating how long, I know y'all, I spent time calculating how long it should take y'all to do this assignment.
Yeah.
How are you all? I just handed you the paper. How you already done? The math don't be mathing.
No.
The math don't
you
be
have a clock,
mathing.
and I took the clock down in my room.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
He's like, this is a time vortex.
I just felt them looking at it and me crying, and I was like, it's gotta go.
I cry in my classroom and in my car. Shout
Right.
out to Crying in My Car podcast.
Yeah, but
Hey, that's smooth.
no, I just turned it into a casino. I was like, I want no
Oh, there are no
sunlight,
clocks.
no sunlight, no clocks. Just you're here for business. Also,
windows in
smoking
here.
is permitted.
Oh my gosh! No, I put up a digital clock because the kids can't read an analog clock. Sometimes I can't read an analog clock depending on which day it is. I'm like, can you read that for me?
You ever go into a teacher's classroom and you're like, daylight savings time was 4 months ago and you still haven't changed it? Oh, you're the teacher. You're like, we're just gonna subtract an hour.
Really?
I swear my clock been sitting the same at home. Daylight savings time already done passed. It's still 1 hour behind.
At
I
least you
guess at
can't.
some point it's going to be right again.
At least I can
Admin could
calculate.
never accuse you of not teaching because you're like, this is math, and the second they walk in, they got to subtract 1 right up there. And
Now this is
That's
teacher
teacher
math.
teacher math. Yeah.
Do y'all feel like the time that we get off for like Christmas and Thanksgiving break, I feel like it goes by so fast, but that week before Christmas break or the week before Thanksgiving break, I swear it lasts for 9 months. Mm-hmm. Like, you ever been walking through school and you're like, dang, how am I this is the longest day of my life?
Yeah.
How am I swear I've been here for 6 days.
Yeah.
The math don't be mathing.
It's bad.
You ever
It's
press
bad.
play on a 2-hour movie and it ends and you're like, this was a 45-minute class. How did that even happen?
All y'all late for y'all other class. Get out.
No one came looking for them.
No, not at all.
Okay, so do y'all?
You ever finish a DVD and you're like, all right, bonus features.
Oh, God,
Watch
that's just
deleted
so
scenes.
cool.
So my teacher math is if I show a video to help with notes or whatever, let's say I'm teaching theme or the plot. Pixar has cute little shorts that you can use to teach plot. I'm always like, oh, I had more stuff I needed to do while they were watching that video. Does anybody need to see it again?
I really want you to pay attention this time to this part.
Hone in on that 3-minute video. We've been watching it for 15 minutes. The third time around, somebody needs to see it again? Oh, 5 people? Okay, guys, we want to make sure we're including everybody, so we're going to watch it one more time. I was able to take attendance, grade a couple of things, answer some emails. Yeah. And I was
Miss
able to
Richardson, you can click skip ad. I want to see if the king gets the lava. I don't think that's a bad thing. Are they going to free him with the sword? I just want to know.
Listen, we can stretch some time. Do you hear me?
Absolutely.
We can literally stretch some time because my class periods, when I have something that I need to get done or it's a standard that I'm like, God, I really need more time to teach this, class period goes by like that. When they come in to observe me, that is the longest class period of my entire life.
Yes.
I'm like, I've been observed for 2 hours.
I'm like, how do you have time to sit in here for
They're
2
like,
hours?
this is only a 45-minute class period. Well, it feels like I've been here since Jesus was around. I don't know. Let me out. Every day at school. Let me at it.
Do you ever okay, so during an observation, this is teacher math. During an observation, you give the kids time to work on something real quick. You're like, okay, so talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
And then it just instantly in your head, is it too long? Is it too short?
Yes.
Is it not enough?
Oh
do
my
Do I need to
gosh.
give them more time? Should I give them a 1-minute warning? Maybe I need to give them 5 minutes. They look like they're engaged. They're off track. Okay, we need to do a minute, and then you give them a minute, and then they're working hard. Okay, maybe 2 minutes.
I know. And then at the end of the observation, they're like, hey, you didn't really give your kids enough time to do.
There's
like,
the sweet spot. It's just, is it enough?
I could never hit it. I could never hit it. Never.
What about,
Welcome to a guy's world. Anyways, so moving on.
I freaking love
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay. So do y'all have an allotted amount of paper? They give you a certain, okay. This is my teacher math. I don't, how is all my paper already gone? I feel like I just get, if it's paper that I bought with my own money, somehow it lasts longer. But if it's free paper, where did it go? Did I just use it too leisurely? And then my own paper, I'm like, I spent money on this. We gonna.
Right. Yeah. Or the copy. Do you have are you talking about copies?
Yes, those too. So you only get you have an allotted amount of paper and an allotted amount of copies.
How much do you get?
So each semester we get 5,000 copies.
Doesn't that sound like a lot?
And it ain't.
You're like, I'll never.
I'm
hit
like,
that.
who stole my copy code? Because I know I like that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick thought SpongeBob ate his chocolate bar, but he had just ate it.
Yeah.
It's like, where's my chocolate bar? You ate my only food, and now I'm gonna starve. It's like, bro, you just ate your own chocolate bar. But I'm like, literally, I just had 5,000 copies yesterday. Somebody stole my copy code.
It has to be.
And then I
There's
go
a
to my
conspiracy.
classroom, and I'm like, dang, I printed 5,000 sheets of paper.
We didn't have copy restrictions, and then they all of a sudden gave them to us, and I will never forget some of the teachers looking around the room, and I mean it turned into you ever see the Justin Timberlake Out in Time or whatever, where everybody has a time clock and they're like, I'm gonna give you 3 hours to live, and in return you do whatever. So it really became absolute bargaining, and I felt a little bit disrespected, not gonna lie, because everybody looked at me. Siebold won't use it. It's like, well, I gotta do stuff.
I do stuff. I teach.
I print things.
I'm always like, hey, can I get some of your copies?
Yeah, I know.
Especially if it's a teacher that I'm like, I know they either have their own printer or they're, hey, you can slide me some of the, I'll watch your kids if you need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But just let me get 3 3,000 of your 5,000.
The English teachers are always
bartering
like,
for
hey,
copies.
how you doing over there? Hey,
I did an old
teacher.
sketch, and I hope some people can find it, where it was literally called The Deal, and it was teachers like doing like drug deals, but it was paper. And I was like, give me some of the white stuff. And he's like, I got the best cut. And then I throws it down. I'm like, legal size, I can't afford that.
You got anything a little shorter?
Yeah. What do you mean colored copies?
Listen, I'm telling you, we barter for stuff. I'm like, hey, I'll give you 2 glue sticks if you give me, the 16 sheets of paper. I literally went and I'm like, this is the precise amount of paper that I need. Because I know they don't have a lot of extra, but I'm like, if I could get 16 or 7, if they give me an extra sheet of paper, I feel like I won the lottery.
Right?
I'm like, ooh, I'm going to ask for 16.
You ever go in there and
17.
you see some extra paper in the copy machine, and you're like,
immediately.
You look around, then you lock the doors and you turn on the lights. You been here? And you have to like test if it's
stuff,
you have
man.
to test if the room's like mic'd, you have to be like,
It's like the show, what would you do?
right? Another teacher walks in, you're not a cop, right? You have to say it if you are. I know how this works.
Listen, if they did a what would you do teacher edition, all us get caught stealing.
Yeah.
Sheets of paper.
Oh.
Papermate gel pens.
Yeah.
Scissors. Ooh, these is good scissors. I
Is
like
this
that.
is this
Which are
the
these?
supply closet open? Like,
What's a supply closet? We don't have one of those.
you don't?
Okay, I also feel like when I make copies, do you ever make like, because I have 120 kids, but I always feel like I make like 123 copies, and then I still don't have enough. I'm like, what? It's like a sock lost in the dryer.
Yeah.
I just saw it go in the dryer. Where did it go?
So the
Makes me
Where
mad.
did it go?
the guy that taught in the room before me left, just quit. And they hired me, and they were like, yeah, he just walked out, and he's done. And they were like, but the good news is, anything you find in there is yours. And I was like, oh, okay. And they handed me like
treasure
these
hunt.
keys and everything.
Treasure
And
hunt.
I literally opened up the thing, and I opened it up, and there's staples and paper and colored pencils. And I was like, I shut it, and I was like, nobody saw that. Nobody saw that.
Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna
Nothing's
know.
in there.
I locked it, and I was like, I
I
have to
have no
change the
shame.
locks on this.
I
And
have
yeah.
zero shame about being a supply hoarder. Let me find a pack of Expo markers in my cabinet. I didn't know it's like finding
Yeah.
$5 in your pockets that you
Yeah.
didn't know you had in
Yeah.
there. Ooh, where did
Whenever
this
I like
come
clean my
from?
desk out at the end of the year, I'd open the drawer all the way and be like, oh my gosh.
You find
where
something
did
you
all of
stashed
this-
in the back because
Yes.
you knew you weren't gonna have any
Yeah,
extra.
like where did all this stuff come from?
And I feel like once I buy like a new pack of Expo markers, it's like I just opened these last week. How have I already run out? I used it one time, and then you find out one of your students got up and tried
Yeah.
to draw on your board and didn't
Yeah.
put the cap back on your Expo marker all the way.
Yeah.
That's student math.
Yeah.
And I know your mom ain't gonna buy none.
Yeah.
Make that math make sense.
But I agree. Whenever I made copies for my class, I always made sure that I made an extra 3 or 4.
Yeah, and I
there was
never
no
can
rhyme or
find
reason
them.
to it. It was just in case someone
yeah.
like spilled on it or ripped it or.
You're the person that
Or,
like
like-
overpacks when you're going somewhere for 2 days.
Oh, snap. I mean, like you remember on tour? Yeah, I did.
6 pairs of underwear is good for a weekend, right? It should be all right.
I'm only gonna be here one day. I mean, just in case I poop my pants every day of the trip, I have an extra
I
pair of
had to
underwear.
pay for Devin's physical therapy because he threw out his bag trying to put my
Yeah.
luggage into
Dude,
the car.
your suitcase was huge.
I know.
That's one of the largest suitcases I've ever seen in my life. Packed to
Listen,
the
you
brim.
never know what's going to
One
happen.
time it broke open Expo markers. I was like, what?
everywhere.
You took it all from school?
And here's us
Yeah, right.
picking up all the Expo.
I actually am taking these.
free Expo. These are nice pencils.
These are nice.
How many of
I'm
these?
surprised these have stayed as long as they have. This is probably why people think that you're no longer in the classroom because they're
Listen,
like, she
I don't-
would have taken them
I
by
don't know
now.
why it like really burns my biscuits when somebody's like, "You're not even teaching anymore." Shut up. Before I slap the benchmark testing out of you. Don't say nothing to me.
I feel like that's okay. There's another little teacher math is that at some point, I feel like a new teacher. And then when I say how long I have been teaching, all of a sudden I'm like,
Yeah.
That is
that
nice.
math is not math. That's not.
Because I've been teaching for 6 years, and I feel like I've been teaching for 55. I'm tired. As far as tiredness, I feel like 55. As far as knowing what to do, this my first year.
Yeah. Like, it's so hard as a third year teacher. And they're like, you've been here for 10 years. Like, stop.
You ever have a teacher come up to you, they're like, I've been teaching for 15 years. And you're like, oh, did you start when you were 40?
Yes,
And they're like, no, I right out of college. What? And you're they're like, oh, I look that way too.
Let me tell you something. Teaching will age you.
Yeah.
That math don't be math. I'm like, I feel 112 years old. And they're like, it's the 100th day of school. I feel 100 years old.
Yeah,
those
I feel that.
Those kids dressed up as grandparents at 100. That's how I feel.
I didn't even need to dress up for this day.
I look
That's
haggard
where
all
I'm
the time.
at.
Now, I know you two are full of bubbly math stuff, but I got the math
This
ain't
man.
mathin' over here.
Okay.
I got this math ain't mathin'. Things that I'm angry about.
Ooh.
I'm livid about.
I like
Okay.
to know when you're angry
And
about
this is
things.
this is not I am mad. I am livid. I know, right? Anyways, here's my thing that I get mad about. Okay, have you taught sports? Mm-hmm. Okay, and have either of you ever received a stipend or like you got all high achieving, you get a little like extra $3,000?
Mm-hmm.
Stop taxing it as a 30% bonus across the board.
Yep.
We would get
This
coaching.
how I know I don't
we
know
would
math.
get coaching. You could even work the ticket booth. And anything beyond your initial salary, they called it a bonus. And you would get 30% tax on it. I remember getting my first paycheck as a coach, and I go, this is like taxed hard. And they're like, yeah, because it's a bonus. It's not your salary. You're doing it extra. The math ain't mathin'. But it's across the board. Any teacher bonus,
I'd be mad.
they'd be like, oh, you're getting $3,000 at the end of the year. And I remember new teachers going, man, that $3,000 is going to help. I said, well, I hope $2,000 helps too, because that's what you're about to get. And they'd be like, what? And I'm like, yeah, 30% tax. And they're like, but this is earned. I earned this. I said, they don't care.
They don't
consider
care.
it a bonus. That's why
What's
I've always
crazy is I
hated
didn't even-
bonuses. Just
Yeah.
give us the money in our salary. But then they'd be expected to replicate it year after year.
This is how you know I can't count. I was like, oh, this is the money we make.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't know
you
it was-
just get
now
upset.
I'm mad. I didn't know it was more than that.
I know. I was like, wait, more money? Yay! Like, woohoo!
Bree just
Yeah.
logs in. Ooh, the
Yeah.
account's positive again.
Why do I have extra?
It's sad, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I coached for 4 years. I had no idea.
Another
I
one.
thought that was
Oh,
what
boy.
we meant.
Another one.
one.
Math ain't math and pencil number 2.
No. This is a Tycoon whatever pencil. This is not a number 2.
So here it is. Class size amendments always are based on averages, and it shouldn't be. It should be, that's the cap. That's it. When they passed that stuff in states, like in Florida, they're like 24. 24. Everybody goes, oh, 24. It's only 24 averaged, which means I can have 32, and the guy across from me,
That ain't math at all.
the guy across from me can have 17, and we have an average class size of 24. And that's
That
the thing.
is the dumbest math I've
That is
ever heard.
Math ain't mathin'.
That is
It
like
ain't math. And third
legit.
one's going down. I get so mad at
I like
that.
the
But
pencil
I
throwing.
hate the class size average.
How is that a thing? We don't. Now in Mississippi, I guess they just throw 30 kids in the
they
class.
try to go, oh, look, we're capping the class size. But they're
you
not capping
cheating.
the class size. They're squeezing balloons.
Yeah, and shaving the numbers off.
They're making it bigger over in one and then going, well, we got to reduce over here. So I remember teaching, and I would have like a government class, and it would be, full. I mean, like 35 kids. Across the hall is the IB class, and it has 5. And that teacher has 5 students. And we are touting it as, oh, this high school has an average class size of,
Lies.
and
All
it was all
lies.
lies. Because
Lies.
only those 5 kids ever saw the result of a class size,
Devin's
that
teaching
was
me
low.
so much stuff that I didn't
I
pay
know.
attention to.
I know.
I just
Also-
accepted it.
Oh.
Pencil number 4. We're going to need more pencils.
Let me just tip over the whole thing.
So here's the thing. Math ain't mathin' on this one, and Bri, I hope you get behind me on this.
I got you.
Because you started an online revolution for this, and
Oh,
I
gosh.
hope that this actually changes. I want the full weight of your followers behind it, because I get so mad at this. I have talked to several school mental health counselors. I go, are you out of school? They go, well, I'm over this. It's time we do one mental health counselor per school.
And we
Stop
need more than that,
giving
but-
them 6 schools and seeing them once every
I
2
100%
weeks.
agree.
We don't value mental health as much as we should.
Yeah.
It should be on the same level as physical health.
Yep.
Would you
Oh,
rotate?
1000%.
Imagine rotating lunch. Hey, you only get lunch on Wednesdays.
Yeah, no.
Because we only have one cafeteria staff moving around school to school. People would lose their minds.
Right.
Well, the students' mental health needs to be at the forefront.
Yeah,
and we
absolutely.
need to have a mental health counselor in every single school. Siebold 2028.
Agreed. Agreed. Stamp.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be like one per school. I think it needs to be one per a certain allotment of students.
I
because
agree.
like,
but at minimum, we'll take one per
minimum
school starting out.
We'll take that.
Because there are times where the kids do need to go to the mental health, and they're like, "Oh, well, she's at such and such
She's
today.
not here to. It's like, well, my mental health can't wait a day.
Yeah,
So
right.
what are you? What I get so mad when I hear that because I'm thankful they're hiring some, which is great.
We need more.
But
they're
they're hiring one over 6 schools and going, job done. We have a mental health professional.
Right. I think
And
it's like a legality. It's just to cover yourself. But I'm like, listen, we need like way more mental health professionals in schools.
Yes.
We are, and we need mental health professionals, one for the teacher and one for the kid, and somebody for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously need more than one in each school, but at bare minimum, dang, we'll take one.
Yeah.
Because some schools, like, they're rotating schools, and I'm like, well, what the heck are we supposed to do if a kid is having a crisis?
Or a teacher.
Or
I think there
teacher.
should be somebody there for everybody.
agree.
Yep.
There should be somebody that you can literally email and go, hey, can I talk to you? I'm really having a rough day.
I agree.
That should be there.
I agree.
Yeah.
I 1000% agree.
Yeah, instead it's like, yeah, sure, I'll be by the 3rd Tuesday of the 7th solstice on the next eclipse. Can you schedule me in Brazil in 2042?
I'll just tell my depression to wait till you're
Yeah.
here to come.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just tamp it down
So
until
that's
then.
fifth pencil.
Yeah,
going
I'm
down.
gonna tap the whole cup
This
over
one.
there for that because it made me mad.
Sorry,
It
the
had
math ain't mathin'.
I know sometimes people don't care about things that don't directly affect them. Like I know that just is human nature, but we really do need more mental health professionals in school. There are so many times where kids are going through stuff, and I wish that I was like better equipped to handle it. And I wish our hands weren't so tied when it comes to certain things. It's like, well, you weren't supposed to ask them that. They were crying. I don't know. I'm just making conversation. And they're like, well, the counselor's not here. Okay, man, what you want me to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What your time? The math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
You have kids that are breaking down in class, and the response is an admin that's untrained, a teacher that's untrained, and a police officer that's overtrained to deal with these kids. And the sweet spot in the middle isn't available.
Yep.
And then
they ignore it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is. I'm just saying, if we want to talk about the responsibility that we have to kids, there are times where, and it has really ticked me off, where I have seen kids struggling. I have taken them to the necessary people, and it's ignored. I'm like, are you so if something happens, then we're gonna be hindsight. Oh, well, I wish. No, I literally brought this to your attention.
Yeah.
This is not a cry for help. This is for real.
Yep.
And then y'all gonna be looking crazy because you didn't provide any. It makes me
Right.
whew.
Yeah.
I take that.
But then,
to
like-
the United States Congress and the Senate,
Then you have teachers taking that on who cannot take that mental
or
load
then
on.
we're
It's,
like reprimanded for
Right.
having an
having a
actual
heart.
conversation with. Like, damn, what y'all want us to do?
Yeah.
Help me help you.
Yep.
Thank
All
you. I 100% stand behind you on
just
that.
because the effectiveness has gone away, I'm throwing down another pencil because you interjected. No, this one, math ain't mathin' on this one, and I don't know if you two can relate to this, but I taught in a bigger district, and we would have district-wide trainings and meetings at different schools.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes those schools are 30 to 45 minutes away. We need to have mileage for meetings. They should be paying you. I'm on the clock. I am driving to a different location than you
Than the one that's
contracted
on
me
my
to,
contract. Yep.
to accomplish your business. So I think that there should be mileage. Teachers should be allowed to claim mileage. We can claim mileage for conferences.
Yeah. Yep.
Why can we not claim mileage for
If I have to go to a-
in-county,
yep.
in-district trainings?
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I've always looked at that and I've gone, why do I have to put gas in my car and drive 40 miles away?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, it just
Because the trainings are, I feel like it's always like 30 or 40 minutes away. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the school right next. Like, y'all
Yeah.
couldn't congregate this a little bit better.
Right.
We have
Right.
to drive to the furthest school.
and
That's
it's
the
always the
furthest for
school
everybody.
that's in the least populated part. You're like, this
Yes.
helps nobody.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all drove to the most rural school for, like, why?
Yeah.
Here's some other math that ain't mathing. How is it that you gave me? Yeah, I'm just gonna knock the whole cup over.
about to say.
This calls for the whole cup to be knocked over. I'm gonna turn the cup upside down. How is it that you gave me 40 hours worth of work to do and I got 8 hours to do it? The 8 hours a day. This math is not mathing at all. And then you're like, well, take it home. You take it home.
Yep.
Cheryl.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You take it home.
Cheryl.
Hell.
Yeah.
Cheryl's like, what did I do?
Back in the cup.
It always, baffled me. Like, imagine the uproar if a business was like, hey, I'm hiring you as a server. By the way, your shift ends at 10 o'clock, and that's when everybody goes home. So we also need you to take silverware home. And we need you to roll the silverware at home when you're home. By the way, we're not paying you for that. You bring in the silverware tomorrow. Do you think that would not be all over the news? This capitalist, I'm gone mad. It would be all over the place. And lawsuits and this and that. But we are one of the few that they just go, it's just what they do.
Yeah. And then somebody was like, well, if teachers stop doing it, then, because as long as we keep doing it, we're not advocating for ourselves. And I'm like, listen, I don't know how to solve the problem. They know it's a problem. If this is an individual, some of it is individualized situation. I can't just not do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, because if we're going to just not do it, then we're going to have to all band together and not do it. This got to be a coordinated effort, because me not doing it means you fired. Like, your job performance is lacking.
Agreed.
So if we're going to say, well, teachers just need to all stop doing extra work, well, y'all, we're going to have to collectively stop doing extra work together then.
This is the last one that I have. Now, this one is rather specific. Okay? Janice. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. There's no Janice.
This one's for you.
Good morning to everybody except for Janice.
I know. Here's the thing. Last pencil to go down. This one bothers me, and I'd love to know in the comments if I'm the only one that's ever experienced this or seen this. We would always have these trainings when we come back. And what it was a rehash of a conference or a training that the admin would go to. Now, here's the thing that always infuriated me. The school district would require that the admin attend, and the admin would bring a teacher, a +1. And then when it came time to relaying the stuff to us, they would put the burden on the teacher and have the teacher teach us. And they wouldn't have to ever do any of the work, and it's like, why are you even going? I always hated that they were getting paid to go to these conferences just to sit there while all of the burden went on one other teacher to relay the info. And I don't know if that's happened elsewhere, but I've seen conferences where they go, one admin, one teacher is allowed, and the burden of the information is all on that teacher's shoulders.
What does the admin do during the meeting then?
Nothing. That's the thing is I've sat
immediately.
You taking notes on this?
The funny thing is I've actually been that teacher and gone, and I was selected, and the admin went, and they were like, take notes. And I took notes, and they're like, you're going to have to teach this to the other teachers when we get back. And I'm like, okay. And I just was like, oh, that's, thinking this is like a normal thing. And then I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah,
why
are
you getting paid for this too? Shouldn't there be 2 teachers here? Yeah. I would feel much better if it was 2 people working in the classroom that could then relay it in a different way. And I just, the math never mathed on that one for me. But I don't know of other teachers. It might have just been my district thing. But
maybe that was your district, because they would take a teacher, but the principal would come back and teach the
principal would actually teach it?
Nah.
No. Yeah, no. Yeah.
But they never, so now I guess not. They were, he don't teach anything. Yeah, the mathing on that. How you make more than me and do less work than me? Yeah. I don't like that. Not my principal. Okay, because one thing about it, baby, not my principal. Okay, let me just put that out there. But I'm like, some of these people, I'm like, hey, you've been sitting in your office for 3 days straight. You ain't got that much paperwork, because I ain't seen you out here in these halls. What you do? I do more work than you. Why I'm getting cussed out by parents for decisions that I can't make? That's a decision that you get to make.
Yeah. I feel like that's maybe a position that some teachers are put in by administration just so that like they're not the bad guys.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's always weird to me too that if I have a training that I need to go to, I need to find coverage for my class. I
don't like that either.
But the principal will have a training they need to go to, and they just leave.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait.
There's only one principal here today.
And it's like, well, they don't have a class. No, they have a school. They have a school, actually. They have a school. They have all of the classes.
So you don't have just 30 kids. You got 300 people that you got to manage. Right. Kids. That is interesting. I never thought about that. Because we always would be like, there's only one principal here today. It's like, who would the stand-in principal be? Probably somebody that pretends like they're the principal, the teacher that's always telling other people what to do.
Also, I got questions. If we can move the assistant principal up to principal, then why do we have so many assistant principals? Because apparently it runs just fine with the ghost crew. You know,
the ghost
we're
crew.
still sailing across the sea, so we haven't sank yet. So maybe let's just cut back on the amount of admin. So
there are like my old school had like six. My old school had one head principal and 5 assistant principals, but there were 1,500 kids. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I don't know. I just always thought that was
the way school that I was at. There was like the assistant principals were teachers.
Oh no, we had like an assistant. We had an assistant principal of curriculum. And I'm like, what are you curriculum?
What?
Like, what?
An assistant
Pearson already made this curriculum.
Yeah.
What?
We had assistant principal of curriculum. And then we had an assistant
Tell me
principal
your job doesn't matter
of discipline, an assistant principal of 9th and 10th, an assistant principal of 11th and 12th. And I was just like, we are over assisting.
I understand this. We are over assisting.
Very assisted.
But not
Thank
assisting
you.
in the ways that we need assistance.
Yeah. But then fighting my class. Boom. There's nobody that can come down to the
crickets.
Can you pause the curriculum assisting and maybe come down and teacher assist?
An assistant.
Is there an assistant teacher that we can get? Is there a teacher assistant?
No, the teacher assistants are already overworked.
Yeah.
Assistant principal of curriculum.
Yeah.
What? I don't get it.
Neither did we.
Oh, you're like, what do you do here?
They apparently so they would always say they oversaw the schedule. And it's like, but the guidance counselors were making those.
Yeah, that's what the guidance
counselors. And then they were like, well, it's over the master's schedule. And I'm like, yeah, but once that's done, what do you do?
What else you?
And
I have never heard of such a thing.
I feel like we just had some offices to fill.
Yeah,
and they were
like,
a
lot of assistant principals.
This one, yeah.
It's like your friend wants to work here. So we made up a job title for you. The director of sciences of the color of blue. I don't know. It's like, is this a real job title?
We got an assistant principal of the copy machine, and their overhead is probably about all the numbers. They're just numbering.
I don't know. At this point, I feel like we need an assistant principal of the copy machine.
Absolutely.
Because these numbers ain't. If there was an effective thing, I want an assistant principal over the copy machine and the supplies.
But then it would be, hey, the copier's jammed. Can he come down?
Nobody.
We have no one to send down there. Sorry.
I'm actually going to send the teacher that was at the training with me on the copy machine. They'll be right down. They're just going to leave their class now.
They're finishing up their class right now.
Oh my gosh. So here's some math that ain't mathing. Do y'all get a allotted amount of money at the beginning of the school year for school supplies? So ours is called an EFF card. Do y'all get that?
No.
What?
We had to put in for a budget at the end of the school
so
year.
y'all's is essentially like, did they have a cap on the budget?
Yeah, like they could approve it or
but
not.
what how much was it?
We could put in whatever. And
What?
Then, yeah.
Well, look, it was $600 in Mississippi
Oh.
for the whole school year.
600.
Math ain't mathing. That's for the whole school year.
Oh.
I'm out of pencils the first week of school.
Ours was 150.
What?
Yep. And I
what are you supposed to do with $150?
I don't know, but I'm slowly realizing why I quit.
It's all becoming clear.
Yeah, I know.
$150?
True story. Our entire basically the money that we were given was a big deal. The reason being is that for the first few years I taught, they would give us a check. And they would go, here, this is to buy school supplies and reimbursed. And it would come like, October. And they would give us a check. Well, they said, these teachers are just spending the money. That they're just using it on themselves. It's like, well, most of us already spent the $150, $200
you didn't give it to me until October.
So yeah, we might have just put it back into our account where it was already negative 30 from the expo markers.
Yeah,
and I speak from experience. So
speak from experience.
This is the thing: the schools sued. The teachers sued, and the teachers won at every single level until it got to the state Supreme Court, and then we lost. And you can't challenge it. So we lost only at the state Supreme Court, won at every single other level. And so they said, okay, well,
Dirty
then
scoundrels.
we're not going to do that anymore. So what they did is they gave us class wallet. And basically, it's a PayPal company that your money is deposited in Class Wallet, and you can buy the school supplies directly from them to be shipped to your school. By the way, like a box of pencils costs like $12, and every single transaction had a dollar fee attached to it because, of course, it was ran by the guys who started PayPal, and they got a profit off of it. And then you realize exactly why it was challenged in the first place, because the billion-dollar company wanted all the money deposited into their account. Also, if you bought anything, which I did, I bought one thing that was not on the approved list, even though it was available to purchase. Our county said it wasn't available on the approved list. And I said, oh, so what's going to happen with that? I bought it. It was $60. And I'll never forget, they said, we're deducting it from your paycheck.
Ow.
And I said, oh, great. So you're going to put the 60 back in Class Wallet? They go, no, you forfeit that. So I lost the 60 and they took 60.
I'm sorry.
And any amount of money left in the account at the end of the time just went back to the school district, and they just literally pocketed tons of money off of it.
That is the worst math.
So,
that ain't even teacher math. What that is? This is called theft.
Yeah, that's thievery.
Call the authorities.
That's thievery math.
The math is a misdemeanor.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We just have a EFF card. I don't know what EFF stands for, but
it's just wild because the more that I talk to people in other states, the more I'm like,
that's messed up.
Yeah.
That is messed up.
Yep.
We already don't. There are so many teachers that they spend their own money, and that's again one of those things where people are like, well, just don't spend your own money. Well, my kids ain't gonna have pencils.
Yeah,
so
right.
we Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire writing with blood. They can't do that.
See,
I'm going to jail.
Could you buy stuff that was actually needed for your classroom? Ours had to be
school supplies.
Had to be only expendable school supplies that were one-time use. Like if I needed a chair, I could not buy the chair. I could not buy a trash can. I couldn't buy anything that wasn't like had to be a pencil.
Cannot buy it. Yep.
My $60 purchase was an electric pencil sharpener. And that's the thing that they said was furniture in class. Yeah. So
how the hell
I talked about that before.
How is the pencil school supplies, but the sharpener ain't?
Yeah. And so but that's the thing is it was so vague. Everything was so vague that they would call them on it. They had somebody working at the county, and you would literally make these purchases, and then you get an email back saying, "Hey, you just made that purchase. By the way." And this is the thing. So not only did they take my $60, not only did they not reimburse me the $60, when the pencil sharpener arrived, it became property of them. So they got a free $60 pencil sharpener out of it, and $60 from me, and the company got the money on the profit.
Yeah. That math does not math. And I know you've talked about this before, that
math normally makes
when
me mad,
I got a Donors Choose project filled, I got flexible seating, and we had like yoga balls and all of that fun stuff. And when I left, I could take
property
that
of the
stuff
school.
because it's property of the school.
Yep.
Even though like I did the project and like it was
your name on it, your effort,
everything,
probably all your family donating.
Yep.
It's
crazy.
That is, I want to fight. I don't the math. Yeah, like I just flip. Just let me just flip the tape. That's messed up. Yeah, some. Not even. I mean, I know we're talking about math, but that is just. I mean, I guess I ain't gonna say cruel, but that is so calculated. But then it's also one of those things where people are like, I'm just doing my, like there's nobody to hold accountable for that.
Yeah.
They're like, I just work here, man.
Yep.
I don't, you know, and I'm like, but that's wrong.
Yeah.
You didn't pay for it. How is sometimes I'm not willing to die on the hill, but I'm willing to die on the hill that a pencil sharpener is not furniture.
Yeah. And it's
that
the
ain't
thing
furniture.
when you talk to people about it, it's like, so you think, well, I don't necessarily, I don't side with them, but I have to do it. It's just, I'm going down the list and I'm just like, okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Who thought of the list?
Well,
they're not reachable. They're
they're not reachable.
They're the assistant principal of lists, and they're listing things right now.
You know what other math does not math? I don't know if this is in y'all's states, but in the state of Mississippi, when you become a teacher, your contract starts in June, so it's from June to June. You don't get your first check until, not August. You don't get your first check until the end of September. How the heck does that math work? Like, how though? Like, because you're paid for 180 days. The 180 day. Now I don't do public math like that, but I can do a little math when it comes to a paycheck. 180 days, your paycheck is split up for the amount of work that you do. So technically, you get paid every month. How the hell I missed 2 paychecks. Like, how I ain't get paid for August and September. The check at the end of September ain't more money.
No.
Where the money for August?
Yes. I agree. Yeah. Well, apparently they say they're paying you, for an extra month out, but by
There's
then
some money missing. I feel like every year I'm like, some money is missing.
You're anticipating that the teacher will see the end of the year, and I think that's ambitious.
It's like, we know we're gonna quit. They're gonna quit.
Yeah.
There are so many things. And I'm like,
I remember getting into the school year after buying all of the decorations and like putting in all of my own money into the classroom, and then to get through the whole month of September until that first paycheck.
That's like pressure. The pressure is
struggle bus.
The pressure. Because I literally, some people are like, well, just don't buy it. We cannot do that.
Stop. See, that's not solving a problem.
I don't understand what you don't understand about that. I can't do that. My kids will literally not have pencils. They're not gonna materialize out of thin air.
Can I? I'm gonna exercise a beef that I have.
Exercise it.
I used to have a problem with this. So we got paid once a month. You once a month?
Yep.
Once a month?
Bi-weekly.
See, bougie.
Bougie.
Yeah. I wanted bi-weekly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the teachers said, hey, we're kind of tired of getting paid on December 18th and not getting paid until January 31st.
That math doesn't math at all either.
And that 6-week stretch, that's not fun. So we would like to change it to bi-weekly. And we took a vote. Now, here's the thing. The district said, great, we should take a vote on whether to go bi-weekly or stay with the monthly. So they sent out the ballots. Now, I'll never forget getting the ballot because it said on here, would you like to receive your paycheck in A? And it said the current once a month. It said B, bi-weekly, and then had in bold all caps, if you choose bi-weekly, it will take us a few weeks to adjust to this pay schedule, and you will not be paid for 4 weeks straight till we can adjust to this because it's different for the payroll system. Big, bold caps. And it was a big warning thing. And I go, they don't want us to have it because it's more work for payroll. And I was like, so they're literally putting a warning sign as if you're not going to get paid. I said, no, you'll get paid. It just takes an adjustment. It just takes one adjustment. That's it. One. And then you'll get paid bi-weekly. And guess what? It got voted down. Because there was a big warning sign on there going, if you do this, you'll lose money. No, you're not losing money. But they made it seem like you were going to lose money. And then they were like, oh, well, we tried.
Am I not understanding? Because I not that I forgot about the December 18th to the end of January, but am I missing something here? How is that a thing? Like, why?
Well, they pay you in advance, supposedly, for the month. Like, they pay you for...
But it's not more money.
It's right before... Well, it's not more... It's not more money. They're paying you for the month of December. And they're paying you December 18th. The reason it's so struggle is it's right before Christmas and you spend half of your paycheck. And then come like January 1st, you're like, Scott, what's up?
Yep.
Hey, listen, coming by to get some Tootsie Rolls and a payday advance. Help me out. So, not that I've been there, but shout out to Am Scott. Helping me. Scott, every January, I'm like, what's up?
I'm back again.
Yeah.
The math on that does not math at all. I cannot believe that's terrible that they did that.
It's terrible. Everything that I
I know. I'm like,
just get.
How did you last as long as you did?
I don't know. I wasn't forced to sign an NDA. They're like, so we're gonna do some terrible things to you.
Can you imagine if they try to make us sign an NDA?
Yeah.
I'm snitching.
I think honestly, that's why teachers get so much pushback now on social media, is because any sort of disagreements or stuff like that, like things that I encountered coming up. If I had gone, oh, really? Well, that's an interesting point you're making. Hey, I'm live on TikTok. We're here to talk about this. But yeah, honestly, I think that at some point, that's why they don't like teacher influencers, because they think if we steer this any way that they don't approve of, we can have pitchforks outside of our door in like 5 seconds. And that's, I think, their biggest worry.
Yeah.
But some of this stuff, it needs to be taken care of.
Agreed.
Like the bat thing that you were talking about on a couple of episodes ago. If the news didn't come, that school will probably still have
If the news
bats.
didn't come, I would come in here and be like, How's everybody doing? Just
Like, this man got rabies?
Wait, are those hickeys on your neck? No. Why do you look like you lost 2 liters of blood? Well, I don't know. I just went in today to make some copies.
It's not 2 liters of blood.
By the way, that's some teacher math as well. 2 liters of blood. So, anyways, go on. Keep going.
Wrap it.
Well,
Almost.
we have all agreed that the math don't be mathing on. I didn't realize the math don't be mathing on a lot of things.
I
This
know.
episode has taught me that it's a lot of math. Y'all doing Common Core math. That's the type of math that y'all doing.
We might need a graphing calculator for this one. Like,
I need a TI-83
we're
calculator.
not getting by with the cell phone. We're not. We need.
Listen, I cannot use that cell phone calculator. It is not correct. If I try to turn it to the side to do a square, please.
How is
Cosine.
it that I can type a message perfectly and hit every single letter, but when I type out like just one math equation, I'm like, oh, I missed a number. I gotta keep hitting clear like 72 times, and I'm like, I just typed a 4-page text
I
without
didn't
missing
miss
a
a
single grammatical error. But suddenly numbers, I'm like, left,
It's the math.
12 to the right.
It's the math. It's the math. And on that note,
Sorry.
this has been an interesting episode. I can't wait to see the comments of what teacher math that y'all say is not math. And follow us on the Teachers Off Duty social media, Board Teachers Comedy Tour social media. Follow me, Honest Teacher Vibes, on all social media platforms.
You can follow me, Teacher Tales of Miss Smith, or on BT.
And Devin Siebold. And if you want a speaker in your school, teachersneedlaughter.com as well. I'll be there.
Is that new?
I'll be there.
That's me, yeah.
Is that new though?
Oh, no, I've been speaking for a while, but that's a new
but the
website.
I was about to say,
Oh,
Teachers
he's dropping a
Need
new website. Okay.
Okay, well now I gotta go look at Devin's website. Okay, we love y'all. Bye, best friends. Bye.